Alright, good evening, afternoon, day, whatever time it is when you are watching this video. My name is Matt Krikorian, and I'll be giving you my picks for Anita on their Saturday program. Starting with the first race, they're going a mile on the turf in an optional claiming event for $50,000. My top selection is the number 2, King Apollo, who went out on the dirt last time at Los Alamitos, tried to pick up a paycheck, did so successfully. Now is going back out on the turf. Earlier in August, he went on the turf over at Del Mar and had the same losing margin of a nose in second position. Sure, this horse doesn't really look good in turf pedigree, but if you look at the distance that this horse has been running, he's been running at sprints and not routes like he's going out now, which proves that he can go a good distance. So that'll be my top selection. My second pick, number 7, Jewel Shalala. Ran a Del Mar last time on September 1st in a mile and 3/8 and came in 4th, unsurprisingly. An extra 3 furlongs does do a lot to a horse, considering the fact that it's about the 34 seconds additional on top of the minute and 34. That is if they're blazing along. If they're not blazing along, then it'll be a little slower, like in this one, where it was 2 minutes and 15, which is about 5 seconds slower than what an average time should be. But on the turf on August 10th, in a $50,000 allowance, won by half a length and put up a time of 1:34, which is very fast. It should be 1:36. And to be honest, this mile and 3/8 should have also been a win for Jewel Shalala, but I guess not. Moving on into the second race now. They're going 1 mile on the dirt, claiming of 16,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime. My top pick, number 6, Frost Alert. Last 4 starts on the dirt. One of which was at Los Alamitos. And if we look back in September of 2023, this horse ran at Los Alamitos, so pretty much stayed there for about 9 months or so without doing anything at Los Alamitos. Came back and came in second by half a length and in a $16,000 allowance. Tried to move up 9,000 more into a claiming event for $25,000 and lost by 29 lengths in 6th. And to be honest, Frost Alert may have just gotten hot on that one race and then just cooled off later on. My second selection is a long shot, 12-1 morning line, War on the West. Ran in a $20,000 on the dirt at a mile, maiden claiming, and won by a neck in 1:39, which is very slow. But this horse, I remember watching this race, this horse wasn't really pushed on either, so it was more of a relaxed tempo for it. Moving on to the third race, the Oak Leaf Grade 2. I believe this is the inaugural running of it, unless if they just decided to take a break for a while and then return with this race, which could potentially have happened. Of course, the favorite is the only good one in this field, so naturally I had to go with it. Tenma won the Del Mar Derby by a nose to Vodka with a twist. Now, there's a couple other horses that can do pretty well. Nooney, who ran 5th in the Del Mar Derby, but did win the Sorrento earlier in August. Or Sorrento, I'm not sure how you would pronounce that. But my second pick will be In the Air Tonight, who has actually never gone at the distance of a mile. Has gone at 6 furlongs. And the comment that they left was inside 3 wide and had a late run. So in other words, this horse had a lot more energy left over. And if you look where this horse was during the race as it was unfolding, with a 21 opening quarter, she was 3 lengths off in 5th. And to be honest, when horses go from sprints to routes, they tend to do sometimes well, especially in their 2-year-old time, because trainers or owners or whoever is running the horse can experiment in the 2-year-old year. But once you get into the 3-year-old year, you kind of need to know what you're doing. Moving on to the 4th race, 5 furlongs on the turf in the Speakeasy listed stakes for $100,000, 2-year-olds. My top selection is Dream Away, who's also the favorite. Won the Colleen Stakes at 5 furlongs on the turf by 5 1/4 lengths and put up a sensational 55 seconds. A very fast time. And my second pick is Tis Happy. Now, mainly because of the breeding, where you see Run Happy is in there. And the Delmar Juvenile Turf Grade 3. And came in, I believe, second to last. I think there were 12 in this field. I'm not sure. But came in 11th, 19 lengths off. Bad day. Earlier ran in the Best Pal on the dirt, but that means nothing, as this horse in June on the 13th ran 5 furlongs on the turf in a $54,000 in only 56 seconds. So if you take a look at that, and the reason that this horse didn't win the juvenile turf was because that he was running at a mile. And with that experiment race, they now know, don't put him into a route and put him into a sprint, preferably on the turf. So anyways, moving on now into the 5th race, 6 furlongs optional claimer, a $50,000, 9 winners of 1. Give me the 5 here as my top pick at 10-1, Tarantino. Very interesting name. Ran 6 1/2 furlongs at Delmar on the 24th. And put up 1:15, which is a good pace, not extremely fast, but did pretty well there. And that was a $40,000 race. Now it's moving up to a $50,000. And he won it by a head in that event. My second pick is the favorite Vlahos. Unfortunately, I did also have to go with the favorite in this one. Ran in the Pat Day Mile at Churchill Downs, even though that is a mile race. This horse still put up 3rd by a length and a quarter. Earlier at Santa Anita on March 9th, this horse went 6 1/2 furlongs in a $65,000 maiden and broke his maiden. At that same time. Moving on into the 6th race, going a mile on the turf in a maiden $54,000 claiming race. My top selection will be the number 10, Mizyan. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. My apologies if I mispronounced that. This horse ran in graded stakes action in the UAE Oaks Grade 3 and came in 2nd, a length and a quarter off. That was at a mile and 3/16. Then at Delmar on the 7th of September, went 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf and put up 1:42 and lost by a length in 2nd. My second pick is She's the Law, number 1, who's been running on the turf in her last 5 starts at a mile, aside from the one event on June 16th, where she ran a mile and an eighth, and ran 4th in that. All the other ones were minor placings, 2nd and 3rd, 3 of which were 2nd and 1 was 3rd. And has got pretty good times, and they're all staying around the same time of 1 minute and 36. Now, any faster, though, this horse probably won't be able to keep up. Moving on into the 7th race, 6 1/2 furlongs in the Chillingworth Stakes, Grade 3, $100,000. And my top selection is Sweet Azteca. If you've heard of that horse, then you already know exactly why. This horse is a 3-5 morning line and is currently going on a 4-win streak in races. That streak started on February 2nd. It had a 6 1/2 furlong distance and an optional claimer, and won by 12 lengths at Santa Anita. Later on, then went into the Beholder, that's at a mile, and came in 3 1/4 lengths off. Now, could this be the next Cigar? Well, this filly is 4 years old, so I would probably say no. But she's only raced 6 times in her life, and she's won 5 of those starts. The only loss was when Frankie Dettori decided to get up on, and she came in 3rd that time. So if we throw that race out, this horse is currently going 5 for 5. My second pick is the number 7, Chismosa, who's been running in graded stakes action and getting into the minor placings. Won the Desert Stormer. But of course, every time out, either lost to Sweet Azteca, aside from way earlier in the year on January 1st in the Las Flores, when Chismosa did beat Sweet Azteca. So those will be my selections for the 7th race. Moving on into the 8th race, the only race that is going down the hill slightly. It's not fully going down the hill. It's only going at 1.25 miles, so they'll start at about 1/8 of a mile up the hill or so. And my top selection in this race is Ice Cream You Scream. Now, a lot of you people who love names and all that stuff know this horse very well, or to some extent anyways. Ice Cream You Scream won the Del Mar Oaks by 1.5 lengths and is currently going 4 for 4 lifetime. Ran the San Clemente Grade 2 and won by 3/4 of a length. Then in an optional claimer at 6 furlongs for $100,000, won by 3.5 lengths. So this horse, when I'm looking here, Ice Cream You Scream started in a 6 furlong race, did 2 of those, then later went on to 1 mile, won there, stretching out to 1.1 miles, won there, and is now stretching out to 1.25 miles. Will she win there? We'll find out on Saturday. Beach Bomb is my second pick, a horse that has been running in South Africa for most of her career, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. This horse has been running in some good stakes races. In fact, those were Grade 1 or Group 1 stakes races. I'm not sure if they call them Group 1 or Grade 1. I know that England calls them group stakes, and then I think Australia also calls them group stakes races. But that's just saying like the prestige horses, like graded stakes races over here in the United States. Anyways, this horse has never raced in Southern California. This horse went out on August 31st over at, Monmouth. Yes, Monmouth. In the Violet Stakes. Came in 2nd by 1 3/4 lengths. But we'll just say the reason that horse decided not to win was because that she was suffering from jet lag. Anyways, moving on. Into the 9th race now, where this was actually a pretty difficult race to handicap, mainly because most of these horses have barely ever run in their life. But this is the American Pharaoh at 1 mile and 1/16. My top selection will be Getaway Car, who is the 2nd selection in the morning line odds, but came in 4th in the Del Mar Futurity at 7 furlongs, mainly because he was just slowing down, didn't really have much left after going 21 for an opening quarter, so it's a little fast. Earlier went in the Best Pal and won there by 5 lengths. My second selection is Citizen Bull, and the Del Mar Futurity, and came in 3rd, 5 1/4 lengths off. I'd also like to throw in Mackenzie Street, although he is the favorite currently at 9 to 5 morning line. Ran in the Del Mar Futurity and came in 2nd by 1 3/4 lengths. So there's definitely going to be a lot of horses that are going to try and scramble or try and get up to the lead and be stalking also at the same time. Definitely a lot to watch out for in that race, so be careful with the American Pharaoh. because that'll be probably the best race of this weekend at Santa Anita. Next, the 10th race, 1 mile on the turf, maiden, $54,000 purse. My top selection in this race is Uncle Dude. Ran at a mile earlier at Del Mar in 1:37. That's a little bit slow, but, you know, they weren't being pushed much either. So, this horse ran third, a length and a quarter off. And, you know, this field does look to be pretty weak, in my opinion. There's nothing much really going for any of these horses. Like, you could take a look at the number 1, Curvino. Ran in September on the 7th in a $75,000 on the turf and ran in 1:36. That's also another opportunity to look at. But my second selection is Kings Road. Ran on the 7th of September in the same race with Curvino, but did place higher and also won by, or didn't win, but came in second, 2.5 lengths ahead of Curvino. So, that's it for my picks at Santa Anita. Hope that you'll win a couple of races, or if not all of them, with hopefully some guidance with my suggestions. If you do need any help with handicapping horse races or anything at all, don't hesitate to let me know. Of course, though, I will be coming back at you hopefully with a Sunday preview show. If not, then best of luck to you on Sunday's program, and I'll be back on Friday giving you my selections. In the meantime, I wish you good luck at Santa Anita, and if you're playing any other tracks, best of luck to you too. At the time of this recording, I did enjoy to watch the opening day of Keeneland, and unfortunately, the first race wasn't a winner for me, but the rest of the day I was hitting consecutive exactas, so unfortunately I didn't make a preview show about that. But anyways, hope you have a fun time at Santa Anita on Saturday, whether you'll be watching at home or at the track. Goodbye.